Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025 session of the zoning citation hearings. It is 2:01 p.m. We are in the conference room of the Planning and Zoning Department in Norwalk City Hall, first floor. My name is Robert Maslin. I'm the hearing officer. Ian Hall, Deputy Zoning Inspector, is here. Are all the cases yours? All the cases
Yes.
yours this time?
Mhm.
All right, so just by way of introduction, my usual process is to deal with these matters one at a time. We may not follow the order on the published agenda because some of the matters are short and can be dealt with either earlier or later in the agenda, and then there may be other reasons as well to move things around. The way the process goes is these are fairly informal at the beginning. If we need to conduct a formal hearing with sworn testimony, that will be a little more of a orderly fashion, which we'll deal with when we get to that point. Mr. Hall, can I run through the agenda with you and
Yes.
see who we can dispose of quickly? 19 Grove Street, what is that? Are you just going to continue that?
I'm actually looking to close it. They submitted everything that was requested and looking to close.
You want to withdraw or what?
We started it a few months ago, so I guess we'll just sign the form and everything. Want to do that at the end?
Right, yeah, we'll do it. I'll put. in.
Mhm.
47 Woodward,
They're here, would like to discuss it.
which one is this?
This one was the work without permits at the front, back, and side.
That's the one with the
there.
staircase that's attached to the next building?
Yes.
That's.
Mhm.
Dairy Farm?
Not here, but I'd like to briefly discuss it.
And
I'm sorry?
do it at the end.
Yes. Mhm.
Nursery Street,
Nursery, looking to continue that. I think he may be coming though, but he's not here yet. So
is that resolved?
he submitted the final as-built.
This is the one with the shed on the state property?
Correct, yes.
What's this?
So he moved the shed and he submitted the survey showing that it's on his property now.
Oh,
But
so you're just gonna do a final review?
correct, yes.
Let's move that. Move that to the.
Mhm.
And if he comes in the meantime, we'll pick him up.
Okay.
It'll be fairly quick. Silver Street, 8 Davis.
Yes, I'd like to discuss that one.
Tell us what that would be.
Mhm.
48 Elmwood
Here, we'll discuss it too.
to
Mhm.
336 Westport Avenue. I don't have a memo.
Yeah, that one I was actually going to withdraw the notice issue.
Withdraw.
Mhm.
Or just pass.
Had to continue to May. Because they're already on. This was a continuance from last month, so but there was a notice issue, so want to continue it to May.
Okay, let's put that in here.
Mhm.
Lincoln Avenue.
She said she was going to come. I'd like to discuss that one. Don't see her here, so.
So let's make that number 3. Van Tassel Court,
Here, quick discussion for this one.
4.
Mhm.
Here,
Yes. Mhm.
84 Wall Street.
Here. And the discussion for that one.
Is this one where I have we've become pen pals with somebody?
Yes. The Attorney Goldberg.
I think that's it. This one. Okay. Is Attorney Goldberg here?
No.
You're here for him?
Well, I'm here for 84 Wall Street. He's my attorney, but I didn't keep here.
Oh, okay. So you're the owner?
I'm the owner's representative, but
Sorry?
I work for the owner.
Okay. Okay. All right, 8 Dover Street.
Okay. I've got somewhere here. This one should be quick.
We're here?
Yes, they're here.
Step right up. Can you have a seat over here, please?
You need my husband over there too?
Just one second.
Whoever's
Yeah.
leading the way.
So where do you want it, right here?
That's fine.
approach it in.
Up to you.
Okay, Mr. Hall, can you bring me up to date?
Yes, this was a continuance from the February hearing. Pretty much it's a case where there was a 2 units without permits, so referred to us by the health department. And pretty much we needed a permit to revert back to the legal use, which I believe is a 2-family, and just get everything closed out.
Wait a minute. The property converted to, is it in a 2-family zone or no?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay. What's the zone?
There was basement units that were created.
So a 3rd unit?
3rd and 4th, I believe. The zone is in CD2, I believe. Or CD3, where it is. CD3, actually.
Sorry.
It was CD3.
So you're allowed two units, but not,
You're actually they can get more units based on the size of the property. However, this property is not big enough. So you're allowed 1 unit per 1,650 square feet of lot area. But just due to the lot area of this individual lot,
you have a minimum area and then you had 1 unit
Mhm.
for every additional 1,600 feet.
Of lot area.
Have anybody figured that out?
For this property, it was not able to do so. This was a handoff from a colleague.
Building.
Health department and Mr. Haydock.
Well,
He
your
actually
note
did write a
says,
memo.
19 Grove converted to a 2-family residence.
Oh, that 19 Grove or 8 Dover?
Or making it the one.
Suppose
looking
they're-
at the wrong
yeah,
notes.
they are not meant to be broken.
Hold on, sorry.
Could have been my fault if I.
Okay, here we go. Okay.
The last,
So we've been at this since November.
that was when a notice was sent.
And I have the notice that was sent, and then, we did an appointment. We have to- They,
Do you have an attorney? The memo says.
yeah, because my father passed away in November. I was his power of attorney. But since he passed away, not his power of
Nice,
attorney.
probably.
So now the estate is going through probate, and Peter is the one who called, I believe, and spoke with you.
Mhm.
Okay.
You're the brief
Is
number.
the estate open?
What do you mean, since it's open?
Has anything been filed in probate court?
It's, yeah, we have another hearing May 20th.
But it's already pending in probate court.
It's pending in probate court.
Has a fiduciary been appointed?
Uh,
Executor or?
Peter LaFerris, the attorney, is the fiduciary. and the
He's
executor.
also he's the executor as well?
Yeah,
He is? He's been appointed
my father is come to him in his will.
as executor? You understand what I'm asking?
Who controls the whole thing? Is that what you're saying?
Well, the lawyer handles the legal aspect of it, but there's usually someone who's appointed to actually be responsible for the estate. Handling the assets, managing things, paying bills.
Well, I've been paying bills, and we've been handling the apartment rentals and the income coming in, bills. Me and my husband, we've been doing that for 5-6 years now. My father went into
When did he
assisted
pass away?
November of last year, November 16th, 2024.
Did he live at this house?
My father lived
Yeah,
with
what's
us before he went to assisted living. We went to View on New Canaan in
Can you-
2020.
Look up. If you go to jud.ct.gov. Show you where you can get this right.
Yeah. Oh, where we're at.
Well, you're not understanding my question. It
Yeah, I
has to
don't
do
think
with
I do.
Okay, go over to courts on the left, probate. Okay, there's a case lookup, second area. Okay, the type, well, just put the last name,
Okay.
FOTIN. Otherwise. District is gonna be Norwalk, New Canaan, PD 05, PD 51. Norwalk, I'm sorry.
Area
This
is
one.
that one.
Okay, is that one the last one?
Yeah.
Okay, open that. File December 19th. Okay,
Also, the police area, you have to click on the case number.
okay, well, who owns the house? The estate, right?
Yeah, my father owned
He
the
owned it
house.
by himself.
Yes.
Then I'm not sure we can do anything without the executive. Because only the executive can speak for the owner, or is the owner, really.
Oh.
And I don't know who the do you know, I mean, you said Peter Lathoris, but he's usually the attorney.
That was my father.
Yeah, but, and for the chair. I'm not sure who the fiduciary could, him.
Well, he's.
I have been in contact with them.
He
Yes,
is,
the
yes,
fiduciary.
then we need him,
Why?
I mean, because he speaks for the estate,
Even
he
though
owns-
I'm one of his heirs?
doesn't matter. The estate owns the property, and the person responsible for the estate has to deal with this. Unless you're appointed, I'm not sure you understand.
I know, I'm an heir, but I was my father's power of attorney.
But when he
Power
got,
of attorney doesn't,
but when he got
that
a hold of you,
ended,
Mr. Latouris, he said, you guys go down there. Why did he say that?
I don't know, I didn't talk to him. Well, probate court's upstairs. Is John gonna make, can somebody call probate and find out who the executor is?
Could.
Because it's not, it's an open case upstairs, but
So I should reference that case number?
no, the name.
It's an easy one.
Yes.
There can't be too many of those.
No, my father, no.
First initial is X, is that right?
X is a first
Take
name.
the first name, XENOFON.
Yep.
Okay.
While she's doing that, let's see if we can go to. I will come back to this in a few minutes. Somebody here on 48 Elmwood?
Yes.
So we'll stay right
Yeah,
there.
you can stay there.
Stay where I am.
I wanna-
I'll stay where I am. Okay.
This is, we looked at aerials of this. There's
Yes.
a line of sheds.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Um,
So what's the status?
There were three,
so we did schedule inspection back in after our last hearing. It was back in February, I want to say 28th, I believe. Able to go on the property, did see the issue. There's those sheds. Is your tenant gonna come today or no?
No.
Tenant, gotcha. It was the tenant who was installed and installed the sheds without permits and keeping all his stuff. Sorry, just letting me see Zoom, share screen.
two of the three of them have been removed and one is in the process of being removed. And I filed for approval an application with the zoning board for two sheds to replace the ones I'm removing because the ones they're removing don't meet the setback requirement.
I didn't see that in my system. Do you have a number for that?
No, it hasn't been approved yet because
Okay.
this is what it looks like. That's what it looks
Gotcha.
like.
But you made the application already? Gotcha. I just want to verify that. When did you make this application? Today? Gotcha, okay. Let's see if it's logged in the system.
And I discussed it, I reviewed it with them, and they went through all the parameters of what's required and concluded that it was, what I was asking for was in compliance.
Gotcha, okay.
The only thing I didn't write on here is nothing.
Not seeing it, and if it was just today that you made it, won't be in our system yet. If an application was made, we'd probably save people's time. Look to, because my recommendation was because an application was not made, but if an application was made, looking to continue this just to if some of them are removed and they're in the works of legalizing.
This could take 1 week.
It could take 1 to 2 weeks for the permitting process.
What permits do you,
This will be just to because the sheds were built without permits, so this will just be to will this moving the existing ones or
Well,
just
we're
brand
gonna,
new
we're
ones?
gonna disassemble it and use the same material. That's the only reason why we didn't remove the last one,
Gotcha.
is because we have to shore it up and then move. And then
making progress on this?
Yes,
What's your, how long is the permit?
I would say there is the we do want to discuss. We were talking about the parking, the front setback, seems to be the way to
right,
get
and
that
I
legal.
inquired about that as well.
Okay, so I would say I think a month might be too short. So I would say the June hearing, which we do have a date set. What date we set for that? And I could personally go over this application. And we could work on just getting it.
Do you need any commission or ZBA?
For the parking, potentially for ZBA approval, if you want to,
What is ZBA stand for again?
that's the zoning board of appeals. So just getting a variance for something, but the zone is, there could be a way to make it work without.
What's the June date?
The June date is Wednesday was the last Wednesday of the month, which is,
I might have put it in.
I believe might be the 25th.
Days we kept on,
Wednesday. You like our Wednesdays?
that's fine. The other reason why I did not make an application for that is because I think because you mentioned the ZB thing, because meeting the guidelines,
Mhm.
straight 200 square feet, the area that we in question is a little bit bigger than that.
Mhm.
But for all the compensating factors that we discussed, so we can take that up
Right, yes.
on a good fortune.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
Should we be talking on the phone?
I'll send you an email for this. We can set it up. We have a copy of this, right?
Yes,
Okay, I'll give this back to you then.
I have a.
Oh, yeah? Okay, then I'll take this. No problem. Thank you.
On it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll be in touch for this.
It looks like, which is fine, we'll continue it to June, but it just looks like we've been at this since October.
Well, I was away when the last month when it was originally scheduled for, so he came out to see it. And then put it on the calendar for today. But the sheds have been 90% removed.
There has been slow and
No, I
steady
got
progress
that, but
for,
we've just been at this since October.
yeah, so I'm hoping that
Well, part
this
of it
next
was
one
we
will
were,
be.
10 degrees out, so that,
Well,
in terms of getting start to rebuild it. I was just following the guidelines that we set forth.
It'll be
Conversation.
my intention, the next hearing will be the last one, just because just having resolution by then, because everything should be resolved by then. If not, we can talk about potential fines,
I
but of
appreciate that.
course, there has been slow but steady progress.
where did she go? Okay, so you're set.
All right, thank you, sir.
Okay,
You
yeah.
either notice or you,
I have your email, so I'll just send
Yeah,
it.
well, I'll also write down.
Sounds good.
Okay.
No, that's fine.
okay,
Yeah, she's here now.
Okay.
Can't give you one to pick up. I'm gonna go up.
okay.
Oh, wait, may have an issue. It's saying sign in here at Zoom.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank
I think Zoom logged me out. Let's try
Looks
this
like
thing.
you're into me.
No, you're in there, because you're.
It said sign in. They'll let me just make sure that we have we actually are in.
6 Lincoln Avenue.
They are not here, but we could discuss it now or after I get the Zoom working. Or we could wait to see if they do show up. I expected them to be here. I did see them on last week, the owner, and I strongly advise them to show up, and it appeared that she was going to, due to what she said.
You want to pass it in case she
Mhm.
comes a little later?
Yeah, be kidding me.
Van Tassel Court,
Yes, they are here.
6 Van Tassel Court. Santa Sierra.
Yeah, very good. Everyone pronounces that.
Remove your hat, please.
Everyone misspells it.
I had no idea how to pronounce it.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
Contractor yard, what's Mr. Hall, this looks like it's first time up.
Yes, first time up. So yeah, just long story short, got a complaint about contractor yard at 6 Van Tassel, and inspection showed there's contractor vehicles or the wood pile in the back. This was taken March 6th. I did a few inspections. This was yesterday. So the vehicle's been removed, but there's still the wood pile.
The wood's almost gone too. I took a picture. That's today.
Gotcha. Okay.
Half of it's gone.
Mhm.
By next week, it'll all be gone.
Okay.
So
So yeah, I do want to since there has been progress, push it a month. If it's gone, it's gone. We can close it. If it's not, we could talk about potential fines or anything.
Continue to May.
Yes, and the May hearing is the. I'll send notice. Oh, that's the May 28th, I want to say.
then just contact you before then.
Yes.
Somebody take a look at everything.
Let me know when everything's all set. I'll swing by
Okay, perfect.
and
then come back here again.
28th.
And then come back here again on the 28th.
Yep.
Is that what we do?
Yep, and I'll send notice and everything. So
Okay, perfect. Same time, I assume.
Yep.
Wall Street,
sure, let's do awesome.
84 Wall Street.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, sir.
Good one.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You are
Linda Gargano, representing the landlord.
okay. What is up with this?
It's a doozy. So this one was a staff initiated complaint.
This is first up, right?
Yes, first time,
up.
yes. Staff initiated, however, after it was initiated, we received just about 15 complaints within the hour after staff initiated regarding a signage that was installed in 84 Wall Street. You can see the picture on the screen.
Hold on, Seth.
Peter LaForest.
He's the executor, Peter?
Yes. That's from the staff.
Okay. Why don't we, let's almost.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go back to yours. You, right. So, Mr. Hall, what? Let me go back to your memory. Okay. Since the executor is not here and we have no correspondence from him,
Well, I believe he talked.
let me finish, please. Don't cut, we don't cut each other off.
I'm sorry.
Since do you have anything in writing from Attorney Thoris?
The last thing I have in writing was when I contacted him, it's on the screen, back at April 15th.
And
And that was when I does by the third time I recommended that a permit need to be applied for the removal of any illegal
Any
units.
indication from him about that? Whether they're going to file?
They did say, so before that, the second time I remind him, he responded right here. This is back in February. Thanks out for to my clients. I'd appreciate if you can move the hearing to the April hearing so we can make all the arrangements for
Okay,
corrective
all
action.
right, to allow family to take corrective actions. Okay. Any indication that the family has taken corrective action?
No application was submitted.
I haven't filled it out, so, but on this thing, like, my father's still the owner, so I would put him as the owner and
Or the estate owns it?
so my father, so the estate would be Peter LaFleur,
Or he's the executor, so he'd have to file the application.
not me.
The application for
what?
I don't-
down.
Yes, so it's removal of the units, yes.
But nothing to remove, it's down there.
I mean,
But things-
I could fill it out now, but you're saying that.
What are you asking to be removed now? I understand.
Well, there were 2 illegal units in the basement,
Yeah.
There's
so
nothing in there now.
we need that official
And-
record. And I explained this to
Yeah,
Peter.
You explained it to me too. I understand that too. And my husband started to draw like a little something
Mm.
here.
He needs to do an inspection.
Well,
The permit leads to inspection,
right,
so.
but Mr. Hideki was there in September. Cause you guys had sent these letters
Mhm.
that.
That's actually the health department.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but it was the health department and Mr. Hideki, they all came together that day.
Mhm.
And they looked at the apartments. One of the apartments was totally empty.
Mhm.
And then the other side, there was a tenant living there, which has now moved to one of our other units on High Street. So they're empty right now. Nobody lives there and they are not gonna be rented.
Well, it's not the occupancy, it's the
That's not-
fact that it
It's-
exists.
You gotta
Yeah.
remove.
And
Have to
to
remove.
make it official that don't exist anymore, a permit needs to be filed. Then the permit's filed, we get it approved, then we do inspection to confirm the permit, then we close it out. So if something's done without permits, they need to be corrected with a permit.
So when you may remove, what do you do? You put it the wall?
Any kitchen elements, any bedrooms, any separation locks.
It's only one room in the bathroom.
Gotcha. But there was, when the first inspection was made back in November, there was someone living there, so it was an apartment. And to our knowledge, there still is an apartment because we never been out there. No permit's been taken out to inspect it. So even though you said, and you're probably right, that there's no one living there now, but there's nothing official that
There was
says.
no kitchen, just, there was no stove in there or anything like that. They couldn't,
So is the room someone was renting?
It's operated as a separate unit, not integral with the rest of the house. It has to be.
Mhm.
Unless you can somehow connect.
you could go
You
down.
need an inspection as well here.
A permit then inspection.
You've already done an inspection.
So
Well,
if
no, the violation was still
what
there.
is required to connect it?
You'll have to, we're not gonna take everybody's time while you talk about how to fix it. The
Okay.
problem you have is there's a violation, there's a notice of violation. This has been pending since September, when the health department raised an issue. November 6th, the notice of violation was sent, so this has been pending for several months.
Hmm.
So somebody needs to get together with either Mr. Hall or somebody else at the staff to figure out what needs to be addressed. File a permit application, they'll go do an inspection and see what needs to be done.
And for the record, I've had communication since January 30th, just at least from me when I took over the case, saying what needs to happen, but
Yeah.
still nothing since January.
Yeah.
And I'm sympathetic as to your loss and how that is not helping move things along quickly. The problem is that Attorney Lathoris, being the official executor of the estate, is the one that's responsible for this at this point. And if he's leaving it up to you, that's his prerogative, but it all needs to be addressed. So we'll continue this until when?
My recommendation was continue to May with the expectation that a permit is filed and it can be inspected.
By us?
Yes,
And do what?
us, like, our department,
The zoning permit.
zoning.
Oh, okay, so I'll just put H over and then
We'll do
applicant
the zoning
or
permit,
authorized
fill what?
agent.
Understand.
Do I put my name
It's
there?
what she has right there. I could call to discuss and we could talk this over.
And I can fill this out right now. I just like, who would I put as applicant or authorized agent? Me, my name?
You would be the applicant.
Well, Mr.
Well,
LaFleur is.
He would be the,
He be the applicant and it needs owner's signature.
yes,
So he would need to sign it?
yes.
Okay.
I'm more ashamed with Mr. LaFleur because he should know better than to not do it.
And then this bottom part you guys do.
Yes,
All right, I mean, that's easy enough.
Continue to when, May?
the next hearing, yes, May
May.
8th.
And so this needs to be,
That's like a good reference, but it would have to be like computer generated or like professionally done if you want to hire someone to do plans. Mr. LaFleur should.
We'll talk about that.
I will suggest that you make an appointment to come in here, meet with Mr. Hall. And they'll explain everything you need to do.
There you go.
okay,
Okay?
that sounds fine.
You might.
Will you make that appointment with Hall?
Doris and let him.
Yes, yeah, I'll let him know.
Do we have an appointment for May?
Yes, and I'll send notice for it. It'll be May 28th, same time, same place. But I'll send notice for it.
But to come in and see them, you don't have to wait till May.
Yes, I'll after this.
Yeah,
I'll send an email. Set something up.
So right now we're all set?
Yes, right now.
You're not all set.
Oh.
This is being continued. This needs to be addressed.
No, but
So
they-
Or-
For this-
now, there's nothing else to do right now.
Peter needs to appear May 20th.
Yes.
All right. But right now, who do I make the appointment with Mr. Hideki?
It'll be with me. And I have your contact already. I'll send an email to set something up for next week. So I'm not sure of my schedule right now, but I'll set something up for next week.
Okay. Very good, thank you.
I just, you just need your name.
Sophie
Sophie,
Zorgas. My legal name is Epstein, but I go by Sophie.
how do you spell last name?
Z as in zebra. O-R, G as in George, I-A-S.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When you were upstairs, the probate was going on, you said.
Okay, 84 Wall Street.
Yes. Did I give you the binder already?
Is that the one or is that the other?
Yes, it is. Okay. So, yes, so
No,
we,
just, I hate to do this, but I see a bunch of other people. Which,
47 Woodward, 56 Nursery, and you were here for,
A for Wall Street.
A for Wall Street.
56
Okay.
Nursery, oh, we passed it.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So there's a memo here and some correspondence. So let's start over.
Okay, so yes, so this initiated as a staff initiated complaint. However, within an hour of that complaint, within an hour of zoning, creating that file, we got like 15 complaints regarding signage on 84 Wall Street. This is in question right here, the U.S. Furniture and Mattress. So this business moved in without obtaining any permits for occupancy or signage to move in. We spoke with the fire marshal actually yesterday, and long story short, they were at a location at Richards Avenue, and they moved in here and they took the sign that was on Richard Avenue and put it on this building. So
Where were they on
Yes.
Richards Avenue?
213, I believe. I believe you are the
51.
51 Richard. So he just came. He is a tenant. So this is his store.
Without occupancy permits for that location.
That's true. Yes.
Okay, so what is your name?
Mohammed
What's your name?
Hussein, Hussein.
And you're the tenant, is it a business that's a tenant? You're the owner or principal of the business?
Correct.
Okay, all right. All right, so what,
So
so there's a sign, the
Mhm.
business moved in without permit.
correct, yes.
Was any work done?
Yes, so there was
Fit up
work, fit up work was done, yes.
Any permits
Um,
needed for the fit up work?
Yes, there were two things that were needed. The landlord did some work as well as the tenant moving in. So landlord, two applications were made at the same time. The landlord work that was approved, no issue. There was some issue with getting the tenant approved, but the tenant fit up was approved. However, no inspections have been made, no fire marshal approval. Fire marshal actually shut them down several times.
Shut it down.
Yes,
Why?
because they didn't provide the fire safety information, and no plans were submitted to the fire marshal, and so they shut fire marshal posted, shut them down, but they reopened. And they were shut down at least 3 times. I spoke to Fire Marshal Troy Donahue yesterday on the phone.
Okay, Clock Tower LLC is the owner.
Yes,
I take it US Furniture and Mattresses.
tenant, yes. Mhm.
Okay. Gar,
Yeah.
Gargano? Do you have anything to add to that? Is that sound accurate?
Yeah, that is accurate. I have a lease with the tenant. In the lease, it says you must obtain permits, must get signage permits. I have all of that. You know, people say that we do. We pulled out permit for our work, but we were issued the citation, so our
Well, I
attorney
got that.
called. Yeah, our attorney called and said, you know, maybe it shouldn't be us, it should be the, you know, the tenant, and they're like, no, you have to show up, so. Right. Here I am.
Okay. What
I mean,
are your plans?
obviously to get a permit for the sign 100%, it's no question. But when the deputy fire marshal came in the first time we were in business, and then he said you guys have to be closed, and then we closed, we didn't reopen. My guy was there doing paperwork and the lights were off, and we had signs in the building saying that we're temporarily closed. But every time he saw him in there, he's like automatically said, "Oh, you're open." Then he made a phone call with me, and I said, "I know that we're not supposed to be in business, but I don't know that we're not supposed to have somebody there to do anything at all." That was the last conversation I had with him. And then he said, "No, nobody's even able to be there." Once he said that, I said, "Okay, you won't find anybody there at
Well,
all."
if you have no permits, it sounds like you got the permit. You
We
knew
have our
that
permit.
That work was done?
Yes,
Is that closed out?
no, because we had a stop work order from his permit. They said, don't go in there, the thing.
How much
but
is left of the work?
I think it's done. It just needs to be inspected.
Yes, okay. Is that,
Yes, no inspection has been made, but there was no issue with landlord work for that application.
No, we had our architect
so there's a
pull the-
zoning approval and then it went over the building and
Um,
what do you need, a final inspection?
for the landlord work, we just need a final inspection, then we should be good
And
to.
then the building department will issue a CO.
Correct, yes.
Well,
If they
that
need
ought
it.
to work.
Mhm.
Now, on the tenants,
The zoning permit was issued for the fit up, not for the sign application was not made. So
so
for the
you need one for the sign. That's there.
and not throwing you under the bus, but you have lied to me several times. He said applications have been made several times. They just weren't made. So that
So-
was happened several times.
But he sent me one yesterday, but it was the wrong, he sent one for 2-family residential development.
Mhm.
And I told him that's not, I mean, I signed it and then I realized, no, it's not even the correct.
And you notice it's not stamped, whoever
No.
stamped whenever. So this was never submitted to us. So no signed application was ever submitted to us, despite the tenant telling me several times that he did. That was just plainly false.
Looking at something, I didn't, I mean, with all due respect, I didn't lie. I sent somebody, the person who put up the sign, I sent him to the city. And supposedly he showed me documents of which he didn't have, of the landlord sign, having the application for a permit. They told him that there's an application for the sign in process already, and there's nothing for him to do. I just reiterated that.
In his lease, it has landlord needs to approve the signage, and I would never approve that. It doesn't even fit my building. You see the brown space in between? That's where the sign should be
What,
mounted.
Chase?
Yeah, that's where it should be mounted, and it's literally mounted on my building, on my facade. But I think he did that because the US would go over the windows, so they didn't even mount it where it's supposed to be mounted. all of my other, of course, I didn't take pictures, but I do have pictures.
Well, there's two issues, right? One is your relationship between the two of you, right? The landlord and tenant. And the other issue is compliance with zone.
I don't.
Correct. This is where all of the signs are on that building.
Yeah, you have a sign program.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I've never, you know, I did not approve that sign. I would, like I said,
And just
So
to
they're
add,
not gonna approve it.
No.
So that's gotta come down.
yes.
this sign most likely wouldn't get a zoning approval either, just due to the nature of
That
Yeah.
was my
Mhm.
next question. Is it too big or what?
too big and can't be internally illuminated. So it's set up to be internally illuminated. So because it was taken from another
Oh,
location
you
and
mean the
popped on.
box
Yeah.
lighting,
Mhm.
what do you call it?
Mhm.
Okay, so where do we go from here?
Forgot what I recommended, to be honest.
Sounds like the landlord's doing what the landlord is supposed to do.
Yes. Yeah.
On two fronts,
Mhm.
your front and the lease.
Mhm.
And so what are your plans at this point?
Change the sign.
And how about the inside work? Did you say there was a permit or?
A zoning application was made, but it still needs fire and building approval. And zoning would also like the sign to be removed before,
Well, you have to
Yeah,
get
have to
rid
get rid
of
of the sign.
violation before you do anything.
so the sign will have to be removed.
What do you want to do?
Continue to month. See where we're at.
Does the landlord have to come back again?
Well,
Uh,
um,
think
why
it
don't
might
you
be
check
best.
in with Mr. Hall
Okay.
beforehand. You'll get a notice, but you'll send a notice to the tenant as well.
Yes. Like, I can do
You have his information,
phone and email. Yes.
address and everything, or
No, we just send to the tax card.
what's the, yeah, I realize that, but he's the violator.
Yes.
at this point.
Mhm.
His company.
Mhm.
What, do you have his, the name of the company? What's the name of the company? Furniture RS.
Attorney Mosley, the owner's representative appealed in case as termination of executive priorities.
That's why I.
Do you want a copy of the lease? Do you want a copy
you-
of all of this stuff?
if you have it.
I know. I think.
If you want to email it to me, that too, but I can also happy to take it online.
This is a copy of the LOI.
Oh, thank
You
you.
have you don't have just an LOI, right? You have a whole.
I have,
lease and
I
everything.
gave you everything,
Oh,
with everything.
Hmm.
The original LOI with their plans, with the lease, the guarantees, everything's in there.
Okay,
It's all of my, a copy of all of my paperwork.
you have the.
yeah, and the
Secretary
letters-
of State search.
Yes.
Mine is running to Furniture LS.
One word or
But no,
let's do autocorrect. Ellis.
LS.
Furniture are us.
Oh,
Oh,
RS. R space us. Oh,
This one, Waterbury.
Two.
This one. Okay.
Two, that's not what the lease is under. The lease is under the first name.
Let me make sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know for sure. The lease is under the first name.
On both.
Top one,
what's two?
Furniture RS LLC, that's what the lease is in.
Who's Ray?
My brother.
Oh, okay,
All three of them are on the lease.
so it's furniture
correct.
R us,
She's
comma,
correct. That's correct.
okay. What's the other one? Different story.
I think that one was supposed to be, that one was the Richards app. And that was the one that closed.
So we do. We need
Got
another one.
Pay some time.
The other one's current. Okay. All right, so we're continuing this until May. Now, in the interim, I think the point that the landlord is making through the correspondence is that the tenant is actually the user of the space,
Mhm.
a violator. So
Mhm.
is there any reason you shouldn't issue a second citation?
Due to our opinion by our common council is to always send notice and citation to corporation council, thank you, to send it to the landlord.
Right, but there's no reason why you can't.
The tenants should.
Issue
know
one as well.
It's just, we need it, the tenant, because the tenants can come and go.
No, I got that, but right now they're on the hook. You know, the landlord's doing everything they're supposed to. He's here. So to get him officially into the file, send him a citation and,
CC him.
I could see, yeah.
okay.
I was issued a citation,
That was
Constable
for,
actually came and
Mhm.
handed me
Mhm.
a citation.
Mhm.
My lawyer sent the citation. I think I've gotten 15 citations.
Can you just open up that first one?
Sure.
Click on the name. I just want to see if there's an agent for service. Right there, Waterbury. Wallingford. What is an appropriate way for them to contact you?
Email would be fine, even phone number. I don't mind both.
You have that?
yes. Just want to get LLC too. Also, there's a friendly heads up for both of you. In my conversation with the fire marshal yesterday, he said if anyone's seen in your building, he's calling the cops. So
That's
don't go in there.
Well, if you have an active permit, you can go in because it's a work site.
It would have to be like a scheduled appointment with the city. It can't like be
The fire
customers.
marshal has gone completely crazy over this. He won't, and that's why I said I would like to finish my permit. And he literally went into all of the other tenants in my building yesterday just to make sure everything else was compliant.
According to the fire marshal, he said that there was doing private showings for work for furniture. So that's why he had to do his due diligence to make sure that everything was rated fire safety because the tenant space wasn't rated for fire
Right,
safety.
yeah,
So he had to make sure.
He's hot.
I would strongly recommend.
This is why you get the citation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
believe me.
you're in charge of the building.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, there's a certain responsibility.
And I understand, and you know, we have a lease in place, we have verbiage that says you cannot put a sign without our approval, you have to, you know, do all of the town, you know, permitting and everything. But until the sign actually went up and we were cited, you know, we issued the citation, we didn't even know the sign was up. And I've been working with me and my lawyer has been working with him, trying to get this moved along, but we seem to have solved. Actually, other departments have come in now and everyone is in
Because
specifically.
it's such a like downtown area of Norwalk, everyone sees it, so it's getting a lot of attention. So
Do I need to sign that application?
You don't,
Okay.
because
that out.
you guys just,
Oh,
made it clear
does
that
the
this
building
sign is
owner
not
have to
even.
sign?
But you still need a signed permit.
Oh, okay,
Like,
Like
then
you-
I'll just attach
The
the,
building owner have to.
the
sign
other-
it?
yeah, that bit,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
So the
so
answer
he,
is yes.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if for you to get a
For you
new
to get
sign,
them to sign it, they have to approve the sign.
yeah,
Mhm.
right. So this is not gonna
Right.
be so do you have?
I have an alternative,
Yeah.
but I didn't bring it with me. Not knowing.
So then it will be submitted until he gets the.
Gotcha.
But can we, like, because this first paper is still gonna stay the same, right? I just have to send, new plans for the new sign.
That is true. Like with the first page will
I
be the
don't
same,
mean to
but we
give you
won't.
legal advice, but you're asking somebody to sign an application with the wrong plans attached.
Okay. Only reason is just because you're here and it's not easy for me to just drive down to you every single time, but I mean, even if I did submit it with the wrong plans attached, you guys are just gonna deny it. I won't do that since I already know it's already not gonna be in, but rather than just me trying to get a hold of you, I could just get your signature and then I'll get new plans and submit the new plans later. I'm not
Can
gonna
you
go
take a scanned copy if he just scans it to me?
I can make that work for this one, yeah.
And once you have everything in order, I will.
Or even like a letter of authorization, that could also work too. But I would recommend the sign comes off by yesterday and that no one goes in the tenant space.
But can we schedule something, or do I have to have my architect schedule something to have
For your work,
for them to come in? Are they allowed to come in, or do we have to have something else happen?
if you said for like your work, if you said it come to a point with the building department or fire marshal, that could be done, no problem.
can
But
be
either you or your architect could be anyone.
So just to reiterate, The only thing that's needed from me is to take down that sign and bring in new measurements and send it to you for approval before I send it to them.
For the sign.
For the
But
sign.
the other work you have to, the other one, open permit that you have out, you have to have someone, just like I have to have someone inspect that we goes off the stairs.
Mhm.
You're gonna have to have someone come in and inspect what you do.
So I have to make an appointment with it.
The building
Yeah,
department and fire marshal.
Well, is your final inspection done?
Is last, so after building.
Oh, yours
department.
is last,
Mm,
okay.
So I do that before the sign, get them to come in there to do an inspection.
Two separate things.
Get your fire department sign off and your building department sign off, then us.
Okay.
But fire should be the sign and fire should be first for you. Like getting the sign down.
Take
And-
the sign down
Yeah.
first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then, fire marshal.
Then
So-
go to the fire marshal to do the inspection.
Uh,
No, then you have to go to the building department, that get the work you've done inspected.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, at some point, you have the fire marshal.
fire, yeah,
Then
they'll
it's
refer.
next-
They'll
After the
refer.
fire, after they check it off, then they tell you, okay,
Mhm.
go to this department.
Okay.
If you get your permit, you know what you're doing. Like what you did,
Even
like
in
you
the
did, yeah.
Attorney's letter saying what needs to be done.
Questions?
No,
Continue
so-
to May
28th.
28th?
Yes.
Landlord office?
I would recommend it, yeah.
This is what I would suggest. Call Ian
Mhm.
a week before.
Okay.
Because then he'll know what the status is.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna speak for him, but it seems that if everything's in order, then.
Okay.
there may not be a reason for you to come in.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Okay.
Right, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and you have my contact.
Yes. Mhm.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, have fun.
All right, so that's. got that.
Here we have nursery and
All
Woodward.
right, I got
Nursery should be,
47 Woodward here. That's gonna take a bit
yes.
of time. But is there anybody else here?
We have nursery.
Are they here?
Yes, and this should be 5 seconds.
Let's do that.
Yeah,
Sorry, what's late because in traffic.
no worries. So this was like we discussed earlier, was the garage that was built on state property.
Right.
It was moved and we were just waiting on the surveyor to come out to do a final as-built to let us know where we are. So on April 21st, the owner, Mr. Mario, did drop off this reduced copy. Did drop it off, the survey. So it shows that it's
Looks like you're good.
looks like it's good. I gave it to our inspectors to start the closing out process. I
Well,
believe,
you have an open permit, right?
yes, yeah,
So if there's an open permit,
that should take care of that, yeah,
that's- I mean, if it doesn't pass, then you got another issue. But
exactly, yeah.
it looks like they've done everything that they
Mhm.
asked to do.
And I wasn't gonna recommend any fines, so,
This looks to me like you're okay with setbacks.
Mhm.
You're not dealing with coverage, right? You're way under coverage.
there's impervious surface, but I believe some was grandfathered in, so even though it might be over slim, but
What's your,
The-
what's the limit?
I believe it's depending on the size of the lot for this one. That's it's like 25%, but I believe they're at like 28, but there was a lot of pre-existing
Yeah, but
stuff.
you just rearranged them.
Exactly, yeah. So that's I'm not too concerned about because I think also the surveyor he was counting the pool when it shouldn't have been counted. So
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, I'm actually this one I'm looking to you can get this closed.
Close this.
Closed it with no fines recommended. Okay, thank you.
That's all I want to hear. But you have to make sure that, you know,
The certificate's issued. and everything.
who's doing the inspection,
Lee or Mary Beth, they're two inspectors.
but it's already in process.
A different one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's already in process. Yeah, I
Okay.
handed this off on the 2 days ago, so they have a queue. So
Okay,
should be.
You let me know when they go to inspect.
Yeah, and they have a contact too, but someone will let you know, either me or them. But
Okay.
they'll come check it out and yeah, get it closed, get the certificate.
They, close it, the case?
Yep, and you'll get like a fancy certificate saying you're all good, then it's all closed. But with this, I'm closing the violation file, so no more hearings, no more meetings. So
Okay,
all good.
thank you.
Enjoy your Wednesday
I
afternoon.
appreciate
Jen.
it. Thank you.
Thank you. No,
The phone.
the phone or
Thank you.
bum. But yes, we can do Woodward.
Now, let me just see. Grove,
That's the one that we
No,
close. I'm recommending that one be closed out fines as well.
19 Grove, we're closing that.
Mhm.
I think that's it, right? Woodward's
Dairy Farm, Lincoln, and
We passed.
yeah, past Lincoln, we can save it for the end. Because I don't think they're showing up. Dairy Farm, we could do it after Woodward.
Dairy Farm.
That one was there was a contractor's yard, but the week that we sent citation,
Yeah, fine.
the house burned down. Yeah,
So now it's got a permit.
not yet. No, that's why I wanted to talk about it because yeah,
So let's do 47 Woodward Avenue.
yes, so there it is.
This one's pending.
Yes. Oh, see, someone's on the Zoom. Mind if I ask him what he's here for?
Anybody else here?
I just see someone in the audience. If you're here for a certain item, please raise your hand. I could let you know. Okay, but raise your hand if you need anything, Mr. Jeffrey.
Nothing's happened.
We had a meeting, so the last hearing, you told us all to meet up, and we did in our conference room, and that was the update.
What
So-
was the result of the meeting?
We just discussed what was needed, or what plans were needed, what survey will needed. A surveyor did call me. I guess you guys met with the surveyor, and he called me because he was confused, had some questions. And we advised them to get an architect, to like just retain an architect service. And so they're working with the surveyor to my knowledge, but architect, I haven't heard an update yet. Okay. Yep.
And this was the
Okay, keep myself good.
initial, just first initial reach out that we had with a lawyer from February, so it's been a while, but this is the new company that has been contacting, which we have a appointment tomorrow with.
Okay, I've worked with JP in the past.
Who is it?
JP Engineering. I believe I did a permit or so with
That is
like a
the
year.
contact information, and this is the prior contract we had with the first attorney that goes to us. Shows the dates.
And here's their contact.
Music, February 6th. So you'll have a boundary dispute going on.
What was going on? But that,
Oh, this is a year ago. What's
Yeah.
the status of this?
that attorney has ghosted us, my dad has actually had to contact him.
Music?
Yes.
And what happened with it?
Yeah, but
Él estuvo en nosotros, se pasando, son una situación de todo lo que estaba pasando, lo explico. Entonces, dijo que se administró para todo el gobierno, gracias para eso.
okay. So my dad said that he was at the house about 3 or 4 weeks ago, looking at the house, and he was going to send out a letter in the next 2 to 3 weeks. I to that. I'm not sure if you received
Attorney
anything. yet.
Davis? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we send a letter a year ago?
Yeah, he was, nosotros hermanos en mi casa, es lo que sí necesitaba una
Pero
tamaño.
¿qué pasó de ese tiempo?
It's a
Eh,
year.
¿Qué pasó en ese tiempo, de ese año?
que están, pues, no ha podido contactarse con el otro abogado, pero que ya la señora que lo hizo, habló con ellos y que está en ese proceso.
Okay. He's had contact with the lawyer, but it's been taking a while on the lawyer's end.
Que él estuvo viendo la reunión, que no había podido contactarse con él, entonces que ahora ya lo hizo y que por ahí nuestras hermanas nos da un update de lo que está pasando.
Okay, so we're,
So we are in the process of getting our surveyors, our architects aligned. It has been taking a while. It says it's going to take 5 to 6 weeks of the surveyor at least. And my dad also drew up some plans. I'm not sure if these are valid, but we have something of the house if needed.
We would want like an actual architect, but start, I'd say. Mind if I make copies of these afterwards? Yeah. But I can confirm that I did speak with the surveyor, but I haven't spoken with an architect yet because Mr. Dennison called me. Jim called me on your behalf just to ask questions for everything. Okay. I can confirm that, but not the architect. No, be right back. Let's make copies.
Yeah, we've been wanting to fix this situation, but now we're at a position where we need to follow certain protocols to get this all worked out, which is why it's been taking us extended amount of time.
Thank you.
this has been going on since August 2023.
Oh, wow. Yes.
Is this no flood zone?
No, right across the street is, but we got that confirmed by an elevation certificate about 2 years ago. The flood zone kind of ends like halfway down the street. So this one's out.
Or down off Water Street. Kind of.
Mm.
Homeowner ceased contact with zoning office. That was roughly a year ago.
Okay.
Then we have August. Work with our permits have been. So let's see, in September, we continued this to December. In December, we continued it to January. What happened in January? Please notice section. When we get to March. Now, why? Is this a typo? It says 3/26/25. Hearing officer continued matter to May hearing.
Oh, that should have been April.
All right, so you did meet and discuss. You talked to a surveyor. Is this the week of 3/21 or 4/21?
That should be 3/21.
Oh, so you spoke to the surveyor before the
Oh, or
last time we were here.
um, that's correct. That could have been a typo on the date. Oh, so that should have been April. Apologies. That should have been April 3rd, where we talked. Mhm.
What, with the surveyor?
Yes, Mr. Denison.
Oh, because you have 3/21,
That is a gross typo, so I apologize for that.
April 3rd.
Yes.
My dad has also started cleaning part of the property.
We did discuss that, yes.
Well, that was some stuff piled up in the back.
Correct, yes.
It's not finished, but it
So
has.
where are we on permits?
No applications have been made yet, because we do want architectural plans with the survey, and they're attempting to obtain both a survey and architectural plans.
So you signed up with,
Yes, this is just their contact information. This isn't anything official. We do have an appointment with them tomorrow. But we just wanted to show that.
all right, so.
We could keep on kicking along.
This
We have
is-
been
this
doing it
is
for years,
getting
yeah.
A little longer.
Old, yes, I agree, yeah. I believe this is the ever since it's Guillermo Jr. It's just as Guillermo Jr. came involved, it has been speeding up the process. However, there is still that dead weight of this has been going on since 2023. So
We would
It's-
like for this to get resolved in the very near future.
Well, I wanted that a year ago.
That, I understand that, and I would like that as well. Out of circumstances, out of my power, I was not able to help my father through these problems that he's been facing with the house. That's something that they would have wanted to finish in this future.
He's got to do something.
Yeah, I agree.
I hear it. I mean, I know you're trying to help him, but it's his house. And it's his responsibility to straighten everything out. And your mother, I guess, right, Sandra?
Yeah.
ideally, this would have been like
You're
a
running up quite a fine.
Mhm.
$64,000, but
hindsight was 2020, I guess. Ideally, we would have issued a smaller fine like a year ago, and that would have sped up the process quicker. We probably would have been resolved with everything. But that's hindsight. Can't go back to that.
did this start with me? Who had the first here?
This was us. This did start with us.
Did it?
Mhm.
When?
I want to say October of last year.
I don't see that. I see 9/25 matter continued.
Oh, then there was the September one. So their first one.
There's quite a bit that needs to be done.
Correct, yes.
It seems like I've had the same conversation over and over again. You're working on it, you're working on it, you're working on it.
As I've been involved, I feel
Not
like
you.
we have been.
I know you're
working on it.
trying, but before it was, well, one excuse after another. But
Yeah.
nothing.
We've had problems with surveyors, with architects. I'm not sure if this counts for anything.
What kind of problems? They don't want to take the work or?
That seems like,
or what?
that seems because they don't want to take the work because that's been possible problems kind of with the house. It was the first initial contract we had with the architect back in November of 2024. we appreciate more time to get this going, and that it's been going on for a while.
So you have work done without permits. You have
Yes.
setback issues, right?
Mhm.
There's two big ones.
Mhm. The front and the side, yes.
Are there illegal units? Is it
There
too many
was
units for the property?
suspected at one inspection, but follow-up inspection, they were removed, so to my knowledge, no.
No.
No, not currently. I would say for a good like 2 weeks, there was suspicion
How many units
suspicion
are
one.
there?
It's illegal two-family.
Illegal,
Legal. So,
illegal?
a legal, yeah. So conforming two-family.
Yeah, but how many units are there?
At time of one inspection, there was a possibility of there just being in the attic, you get like two separate ones, but after a follow-up inspection with the health department, they were removed. So we have it as a two-family now and confirmed with an inspection. But that inspection was say 2 months ago. So
So we're down to setbacks.
setbacks and work without permits.
Well-
And the story height issue with the attic area, the bump out that was
Is that, how long is that?
this one. It's been there for a while. This never it can be grandfathered and do the height and everything. So right there, the blue, the brown dormer here, this right here, and this presentation doesn't show it, but the previous one did. I don't have access to it because I'm not in the system, but the one in the back that we saw, I think I could be able to. I'm not connected to the drive with this connection, so I can't show
The
it.
problem is if we do a fine,
Mhm. We're starting from the
I'm
beginning.
done,
Mhm.
and then you gotta start over.
Mhm.
Would it be better to take it over a month? And if you don't have permits in place, or you don't have some really good significant progress
Mhm.
in that direction, then we'll just do a fine and we'll close this and you start over on working on another fine.
I would say, should we do just via the timeline that the
Because
surveyor?
the problem with the way the system works is all I can do is impose a fine.
Right.
But right now, the fine is kind of racked up here,
Mhm.
64,500 through today.
Mhm.
The two violations. Then we're adding another, what, 30 days?
It's roughly 4,500 per month per violation, so it'll be another
Yeah.
1,000. What's the timeline that the surveyor gave you, Benson?
It should say. Here, it says approximate date of completion is 5 plus or minus weeks from receipt of the deposit,
Okay.
weather permitting. I reserve the right to change the date of completion if the deposit is not received, and my father has deposited.
Okay.
So that's all in the works.
Yes, that has been in the process.
And then what would they do?
So the survey will just show
It's gonna show the
boundaries
setbacks.
and
building height, I guess, right?
ideally they should be working with the architect to show when the architect draws up plans, you'll give it to the surveyor and the surveyor could like mark, because like some things need to be removed, that front and the side things, and on the survey, Mr. Dennison will mark area to be removed, area to be things. So it'll show a proposal of what work's gonna be done.
Okay,
So with the timeline of that, instead of pushing it 1 month, should we do the June hearing instead of the May, just because the survey might take longer?
I'd rather get him back in here in May and see where we are.
I'm okay with that.
Because in the meantime, somebody can reach out to the surveyor and find out what the status is.
Hmm. Okay.
And like you said, for the next meeting, what would be the best, like what can we show that we've been showing a good amount of progress?
See what you have.
Mhm.
I mean, if he's got the survey done, fine.
Mhm. Contract with an architect or
Contract with it. You need the
Or have the plans,
architect
yeah.
to do this.
And once we do that, are we able to get permits?
yeah, like if
Well,
having
you have to see where you are. You can't get permits for a bump out that's in a setback.
Mhm.
That's one issue.
that's what the architect
Yeah.
would do. He would like same thing with surveyor.
Figure
Like,
out what your
Mhm.
status is, and then if you can fix it, you fix it.
Okay.
You get a permit to fix it. If you can't fix it or whatever, there's a possibility of getting a variance, but I don't know what that possibility is.
Okay.
That's another whole
Mhm.
issue, but
All
you need a baseline to figure out what you need. That's that's one of the problems.
Yeah, and the architect can help us with all of that.
Yes.
They're familiar with
Mhm.
how that works. Van a dar a nosotros otro mes.
Now
Estamos haciendo-
That's the architect contact information there, right? The surveyors, Dennison.
Mm.
Yeah, this is the surveyor. This is our new architect that we have appointment with tomorrow. This is just what the first
Another one?
architect we had from November of 2024 that we've lost contact with.
Can I see it for 1 second though? Tell me what, yeah. Just want to jot down any contact information. Just in case
Yeah.
I need it.
Podemos dar la foto. He has his card information that might be more specific to specific architect.
Sure.
That was just the-
Okay.
Well, the one thing is, we've been pretty flexible because he was out of the country for a while. The objective here is to get this all to comply.
Mhm.
But the last couple of times.
Oh, I know Diego. Okay.
He's come in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow,
Yeah.
we'll do this. We won't ready for me. This guy,
Yeah, no, it's been-
I know they're moving.
Lackluster movement in this problem.
you know, and it's all. It's not his doing, it's not my doing, it's do work without permits, and this is what happened.
Yeah, yeah, I understand that this shouldn't have been done in the first place. I apologize for doing this. But we would just like to, resolve this problem for ourselves, and I would like to do it for my father. And we'll definitely make sure to come back, in the next day with more.
May
Proper,
28th,
May 28th.
we'd do that.
May 28th.
And then make a note to yourself that. Follow up.
Mhm.
Find
And
out where,
I know the
Where we are.
architect, so
oh, do you, okay.
yeah. I can speak to him and
Same with the surveyor.
Mhm.
Because I don't want to come back here in May and then, oh, we didn't get it done, and we need to find a new architect, we need to find a new surveyor.
Yeah, we're hoping this architect will help us
I'm not,
do what we need to.
I'm flexible, but not that flexible, you know what I mean?
Yeah, understand.
Thank you, sir, thank you. All right. That's it.
yeah.
Yeah, all right,
Okay.
thank you guys.
Main point is,
All right.
thank you, need notice. So that leaves us, we're gonna do this. No, you can take over.
Yeah.
17 Dairy Farm,
Yes. So this one, house was, contractor yard.
Emilito,
Mhm.
contract yard,
Mhm.
house fire. Continued a couple of times because of the fire.
Yes.
Is there any point in keeping this open?
There is still, I was able to go on the property on the 17th, so last week. Good portion of the yard is clear, but there is still some contractor equipment, some trailers and everything. It's not occupied.
Yeah, but I'm covering from the fire.
Great,
So
yeah.
where do you draw the line?
According to the owner, she did actually ask that I give a. She sent in the letter. She asked if it could be read by you. This is explaining why we're not here. It was fair to let her. Apologies, I'm disorganized. But yeah, it's pretty much insurance issues, so they're still fighting with the insurance. For actually, no, I believe I have it here. Here. Yeah, so the homeowner did send us pretty much I'm able to attend today. Dealing with house related issues due to the fire. And for like they wanted to completely destroy the house and rebuild, but they're having problems with the insurance money. So it's no one's living there, it's not fit for occupancy. The fire was pretty bad. And I would say they have been working with me. So the concern that staff did share is like if they do get a permit to rebuild the house, they just move all the contractor stuff back. Because there was a lot of, they did remove a lot of contractor
Oh,
stuff.
I got that, but
Yeah.
right now it's not occupied, it's
Mhm.
you know, secured because of the fire.
Mhm.
What's the house look like?
House, I did not take, it actually didn't look too bad. The fire happened in the basement. I don't think I have any photos of the house itself. I just took pictures of the yard.
Who's CJC?
That is the girlfriend of the homeowner. Don't have any photos out, so it doesn't look too bad, but once you look close, you can see like the suit and everything, or the basement fire. So, the inside is pretty destroyed, but the outside looks pretty intact. But it's just not safe to live in
No.
at all.
No, but what do you?
Mhm.
Well,
So-
just leave it open? You wanna, what do you can't, it's not like we're running a crude
True,
fine on it, because well,
True.
how do you do that when you've got a fire?
true. So we could close it, and if a problem comes, we could just always, because we could always reassess within 6 months. We could close
Why
it.
don't we just do that?
Okay.
There's no sense keeping something open when the original purpose for being in here
Mhm.
doesn't exist anymore,
Correct, yeah.
right? You know?
Mhm.
Okay, and that leaves us with 6
Lincoln.
Lincoln Avenue.
I'll just give her one last benefit of the doubt and see in the hallway if you see her, because she did say that she was gonna try to make it. No. This one is a funny one. Yeah. So this one, I believe I do not have any photographic evidence. My presentation. Just Lincoln.
Has there been any contact?
Yes, there has been contact. So I could give the whole spiel, the story behind it.
Did they indicate? Give you any indication that they paying attention to this or?
So once I sent the citation with like the notice to be here, the homeowner did come in without representation to ask about it. And that's when I advised her to come, but again, she is not here, so don't know why she did not come. So this one was so when the homeowner bought the house in I believe it's 2009.
All right, somebody complained in November about a contractor.
Oh, for Lincoln, this one should be
Fantastic, no.
Oh, no, sorry.
Lincoln.
Lincoln.
Oh. Hold on. February 26th.
yes. So we received a
Apartment
complaint.
apartment in the basement.
Mhm.
And 3/4/25, an attorney reached out to you.
Mhm.
That's right, on behalf of the homeowner. To discuss and to exchange documents. Homeowner rescheduled last minute for the 6th. The 5th. Is that the 6th? You met with a homeowner,
Yes.
different attorney.
Yes. Lawyer shocked.
Uh, So that all of this is on the 5th. What'd you do? Send a notice of violation out?
Correct. Yeah, right after the meeting, because they admitted the meeting that they
Oh,
had.
wait a minute. Oh, yeah, notice of violation. Okay. And you reached out to an attorney to set up an inspection, didn't receive a response. That's March 4th.
Correct. I received a response, but it was more like I'll get back to you in a week, but never did.
Reached out to the attorney again. Attorney said they were out of town. citation on 410. Well, this is the first time up.
Correct, yes. Well, yes, but they did file a permit in 2011 to remove an illegal unit, and it was the same owner as is now. So what happened was
Was that cleared out?
yes, it was all closed out,
Closed?
inspected and closed. They got their certificate in 2014 to bring to compliance and to reconvert back to a two-family unit. It's the same owner as it is now, Mrs. Peralta. So I'm assuming sometime between then and now they put in they knowing that was wrong, they put in an illegal apartment and held them again. So they
You did an inspection?
no, they have not invited me. I've asked several times to do an
How do you
inspection.
know there's, how do you know?
They admitted it in the attorney admitted it in the April 5th or 6th meeting. And I actually do have email correspondence from the landlord. Let me just- where she admits how a tenant has moved out but still in possession of an apartment. So she did not flat out say it, but she's alluding to the fact that there was a permit, there was a apartment that
Oh,
was
the
done.
tenant moved out, but
Mhm.
they left stuff there.
There was an eviction proceeding, and because they got in trouble with health department as well, because a complaint came into us and the health department. And I guess there is
Mrs. Bermuda.
that is Cindy Bermudez. She's worked for the health department. So I was CC'd to this email. And below you could see that she's calling it the apartment. Complete everything except for the stove and window. So stove is part of a kitchen, so kitchen element, that's another apartment.
Apartment repairs required by the health department. What, do you know what that means?
So from what I was never there, but from what I could gather is that the illegal apartment was just had because there was an extermination, they had to get an exterminator out there too. So I'm assuming the unpermitted apartment had bugs, rats, etc. Could be anything. So Balsamore inspected and just deemed it not to be safe, and that exterminator had to go to remove. The fact that the health department required them to get an exterminator must have been pretty bad for this legal apartment. So I do feel bad for the tenant in this situation. But the tenant has they're going through eviction right now.
How do you get an eviction when there's no permit for the apartment in the first place?
That's beyond my knowledge. She admits remortgaging work due to the ongoing eviction court proceeding. So the tenant has moved out, but is still in possession of the apartment.
What do you suggest?
My suggestion is I mean the homeowner knew not to, because they went through the whole permitting process to remove an illegal unit, and they went ahead and put back an illegal unit again. So it would look for, and they didn't show up to the hearing even after I came in and told them that they received notice to be at the hearing, came in because of a task questions. I said you should be here at the hearing, and they have not. They're not here. Why? Here is the certified mail receipt that they did get from the
Yeah, but it's not signed.
yeah, there was stamped though. So by the I could look up the tracking number as well. My constable go out with the
You want to just run that and see?
yes. I believe I should have. And she had the cite when we met. She had the citation in hand, so I do know that she did receive it. Two. She was concerned about any fines, and that's why I told her to come. Yeah, so it was delivered April 12th, the citation. She did not ask for a hearing, but I did again recommend that she'd come today. Because she did discuss it. She asked,
Do you have the citation?
yes.
So this is CD two.
Correct, yeah.
How many, you're allowed two?
Yes, allowed to. It is a two-family, but the unit was a third unit. Which her and the representing attorney admitted to me.
Which one?
Major Glenn.
The first one or
The second one. The second one.
Did he send you any correspondence that said she'd be representative?
The if you can refer to this email, this was after our hearing. So according to him, thanked me for the morning, said my client, so I guess that shows that representing. And he admits there's an eviction process proceeding. And he detailed the plans, what they want to do to revert it back to a legal two-family. And they said, we will be in touch when the first floor is vacant, so you're able to conduct an inspection. I can zoom that in if you need.
So you actually met with him?
Yes, attorney two. This was email was sent after we met.
You haven't had an inspection?
No, I've asked several times.
What's the date on that?
This is March 5th. So the day I sent the notice of violation.
So he met,
Oh, did I get a date wrong? No. This is my follow-up. So yeah, so we met on the 5th, and I sent the notice of violation on the 5th as well. That was minutes after the meeting. I sent it out.
so it's your view that this is a deliberate violation?
Correct, yes, because the same homeowner took out a permit 10 years ago to remove an illegal unit, knowing that it had to be a two-family use. I believe I just have the one. Yes, conversion to a multifamily.
In the complaint, what,
I believe it was
written?
it was
Filed.
it was filed with us, so I could pull that up. I believe the complaint, not that it matters, but I believe it was the tenant who complains. So yeah, the complaint was filed back in February 26th. I'd like to report my neighbor for having a illegally live in basement.
Neighbor.
No, this is a tenant, I believe. I'd like to report my landlord for having illegal. Yeah. I couldn't. The complainant complaints about additional units in the third floor. I couldn't verify that, so I didn't send those violation for that. And the attorney and the landlord admitted to the basement unit, but not to any additional units. And even the health department did not find any unpermitted units upstairs. So 3 families, but no more.
So what you have in terms of proof is somebody who's probably being evicted.
Mhm.
And in housing cases, that's when you get complaints of,
Mhm.
right?
Correct. Yes.
Permits
Mhm.
to get out from under the eviction case.
Mhm.
So that has a certain amount of,
True.
I don't know what the right word is.
I understand.
There's a motivation for it, whether
Mhm.
it's true or not, it's another question.
Mhm.
You don't have an inspection.
Do not have inspection now.
The health department do an inspection.
Health department did do an
What
inspection.
did they find?
They found an unpermitted unit. Do not have the the first one. This was how we first heard about it. The health department referred it to us. Pretty informal. They was just trying to set up that initial inspection. They had a 4-family. I could never verify that. And again, the attorney and the landlord flat out admitted for a
Well,
basement
I
unit.
got
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I got that. But, why don't we do this? I'll swear you in.
Mhm.
You can explain all of this.
Mhm.
And I'll ask you questions as we go along.
Sure.
If there's enough evidence, I'll find a violation and then keep the hearing open
Mhm.
for a month while you try to work things out. And I'll just note for the record what the fine is so far.
Okay.
All right.
Mhm.
So, did you look up that
Yes, and
number, the tracking number?
it was delivered on the 12th of April.
Okay, raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or sincerely affirm that the testimony I shall give in this matter shall be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God, or under penalty of perjury?
I do.
All right. So this is a zoning citation for property located at 16
It was
Lincoln Avenue.
6 Lincoln.
I'm sorry, 6 Lincoln Avenue. Would you, and the citation's dated 4/10.
Mhm.
And before we get into more substance, how is this citation sent or delivered to the property owner?
It is sent through regular mail, certified mail, and constable service. I don't believe I received a receipt from our constable. However, I did receive a receipt from the certified mail that was delivered on April 12th.
And you looked up online on the post office tracking page that showed that the citation was delivered April 12th,
Yes, I did it.
10:57 a.m.
I did it via Google through the service, but I could double check right now.
What is USPS tracking?
That's true. Yes.
Take a minute to, is that in there now?
Yes. So yes, delivered from the USPS
Yeah.
website.
Okay.
Delivered April 12th.
Is there any, does this one give you proof of mailing? Yeah, for no. Let's see, what days?
Left as individual, so it was handed to a
And
person.
Somebody.
Mhm, yes.
And, did you hear from the Lords Peralta after that, after April 12th?
Yes, so after April 12th, I believe it was on, because she sent me the email the same day. I believe it was the 14th she came in. Yes, the 14th.
March 14th?
April 14th.
April 14th,
Mhm.
this is after the,
After the citation
Delivered.
was delivered, yes.
Okay.
She came in to discuss, and where then I discussed what it meant, and I told her about the hearing that was happening today, and I strongly recommended that she came.
and did she give you any indication that she received the citation
Yes, she was actually holding it in her hand.
when she came in?
Correct, yes.
Okay. And do you certify that Ms. Peralta has not requested a hearing?
Yes, I do certify that.
Now, you tell me about the property. It's 6 Lincoln Avenue,
Mhm.
which is South Norwood.
Correct, yes.
Would you describe the property itself?
Yes, it's a two-family house in a two-family zone. When the current owner bought the property, current owner purchased the property according to the tax card was in 2009. The current owner purchased the property according to the tax card. In 2011, a permit was filed to remove an illegal third unit to the third family.
When you say a permit was issued, who was the permittee?
The permittee, the applicant, the Joan something, can't read the handwriting. However, Miss Lords Peralta was the listed owner at the time when the application was made in January 14th in 2011.
You gave me a binder that contains some information. One is a copy of an application for zoning approval and zoning compliance. It
Mhm.
goes back to 1/14/2011.
Correct.
And let me just take a moment to look at this. Remove illegal attic unit.
Mhm.
Integrate space with second floor unit, includes complete removal of attic kitchen.
Mhm.
And conversion of space to include rec room, 2 bedrooms, full bath, install laundry sink, washer and dryer in basement laundry unit.
Mhm.
This to be the two-family. The address here is the location 6 Lincoln Avenue.
Mhm.
Owners or lessee is Lords Peralta.
Correct.
The applicant is Joan. Hard to
Yes.
see.
Mhm.
Possibly a relative and contractor. And
Correct. Mhm.
And there's a certificate of zoning compliance.
Mhm.
Dated March 31, 2014, which
Correct.
is a couple of years later.
Mhm.
Certifying compliance.
Mhm.
And it describes the project as the same way it was described in the application.
Mhm.
With a note, NB, nota bene. Occupancy is not permitted until the construction certificate of occupancy is issued by the building inspector.
Mhm.
So the owner's got a history of having multiple units without permits.
Correct.
And went through a process where a violation had to be corrected.
Correct.
And that was in 2000, somewhere between 2011 and 2014.
Correct.
So what brought this property to, by the way, have you been past the property?
I have not been inside the property now.
Have you driven
I've
past?
driven past it, yes.
Okay, so you're familiar with the surroundings.
Correct, yes.
What zone is it?
It was at the time of this permit, it was a C zone, which was a 1 or 2 family zone, but now it's in a CD2 zone, which is still a 2-family zone.
Okay, does it have enough land for 2 families?
Yeah, every property as of right, depending on size, is a 2-family now with the CD2 zone.
Okay. So what brought your attention to this property within the last few weeks?
We got two things. So one, on February 26th, I believe, a complaint was filed through our official system from the tenant saying that the landlord has unpermitted units on the property. And that was the first one. And the second reason why this came to our attention was back in 2 days after we got a health department referral from health inspector Cindy Bermudez, saying that she has knowledge of property with illegal units that she was trying to set an inspection with. So within 2 days, I received an official complaint and a referral from a different department. In 2 ways, which we regularly receive complaints, is
Were both complaints initiated by the same tenant?
for the health department. I do not believe so, but I can assume so. But sorry, I cannot certify that it was.
A unique coincidence.
Correct. Yeah, it's probably they filed the complaint to 2 different departments, which is regular.
Have you been able to inspect the property?
No. So I reached out to the landlord several times in an attempt to inspect the property, but I've been stonewalled and delayed. And I even reached out to the second representing attorney for the landlord, trying to set up an appointment, and I've not been invited to do an inspection. To my knowledge, the health department has been out, but not us, not zoning.
Okay. Have you followed up with Miss Bermudez of the, she's housing inspector at the health department?
Correct. Yes.
Have you talked to her about whether she did an inspection?
Yes, she was able to do an inspection. I was not.
What did she find?
She found the unpermitted units, and that's all that
This is a little backwards, but Cindy Bermudez is a housing inspector with the health department.
Correct, yes.
Norwalk Health Department. And during the course of her business as housing inspector and your business as deputy zoning inspector, do you have a practice of exchanging information about violations?
Correct. Yes, we do. It's a regular occurrence.
All right, so do housing inspectors in Norwalk have an obligation to or a duty to report violations to other departments, including zoning?
Don't believe it's a duty. However, it's a common practice where if a violation, if an inspector wants to.
It's a common business.
Correct.
practice.
Yes. Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And do you act on those kinds of referrals
Yes.
as a common practice?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now you mentioned in your memo several things that I wanted to ask you about. On March 4th, 2025, an attorney reached out to you on behalf of the homeowner to discuss and to exchange documents. What was the discussion and what documents did you exchange?
The attorney reached out to me to ask what I have on file for this address because this attorney said the landlord reached out to him to represent her regarding this, and he asked if I had any permit history showing that what the legal use is for the property. And during that exchange, I told him that we had a permit in storage I was requesting up, which I could find, and that permit was the permit that we went over earlier.
Did you eventually send it to?
Yes, I did.
You're talking about the 2011 permit,
Correct.
and the 2014 sign off.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Then on the following day, you met with the homeowner and a different attorney
Correct.
at the office here.
Yes, in this room.
Tell me about that conversation.
Where the documents where I was pulled for the initial attorney, I was not aware that she retained a different legal representation. So I did not have these documents ready for him yet. So when he came and he asked what the situation is, I simply handed him the copy of the permit from 2011 showing the use as a legal 2-family and how a unit had been removed in the past, and that had to be a legal 2-family. Then he asked for a few minutes to talk privately with his client, which I allowed him to do. And once I was invited back into the room, he admitted that there was a illegal unit in the basement and that they'll work on legalizing it.
And this is the second attorney?
Correct,
Did
yes.
the second attorney give you any indication of a timeline or a process that the owner would undertake to correct this?
All he said was that they're in the process of evicting the tenant of that unpermitted unit and that they would try to reach out during the conclusion of that. However, I wanted to still do an inspection prior to that, because just to confirm the use, and as the landlord, she has access to
Okay.
allow me that, which she did not let me go.
Did you talk about an inspection with the attorney?
Yes, I did. I reached out.
No, during that meeting.
During that meeting, yes, I did.
What?
He stonewalled and said they said they're dealing with the eviction process afterwards, so
Okay.
try to.
You sent the notice of violation on
That
the
day.
same day?
Yes.
You have a copy of that?
Yes, I do. Yep. And that was also emailed the following day to the attorney, the second attorney.
You sent this to the second attorney?
Yes.
Now you have emails up on the screen.
Correct, yes.
Is that correspondence between you and the second attorney?
Yes.
Is there a copy of the notice of violation?
Yes, it's the attachment right here.
Okay.
I could open it. That's just a text
Okay,
view or something.
Well, those emails are part of the file.
Correct,
so-
yes.
March 12th, your memo says you reached out to an attorney to set up, or two attorneys, is that the
Mhm.
second attorney?
Yes, the second attorney.
To set up an inspection, no response.
Correct, yes.
March 31st, you reached out again to the
Mhm.
same attorney.
Yep.
You said they were out of town and would reach out the following week. Haven't heard since then.
Correct, yes.
Citation was sent on 4/10,
Yes.
2025, and I have a copy of the citation here
Mhm.
already.
Mhm.
On April 14th, 2025, the property owner came in to your office
Correct,
to
yes.
discuss this.
Yes.
Did the owner have an appointment or did she just show up?
She just showed up.
Have her attorney with her?
No, she came alone.
And what was the substance of that meeting?
She said that that the tenant has been evicted but is still in possession of the unit. She said, I'm paraphrasing, but she was
He was meaning what in possession?
I'm not sure, to be honest. That's the first I ever heard that. But she did say that his stuff was still there and she was afraid to touch it. However, the bodies were gone, the people were gone, but the stuff was still there. She was holding the citation in hand, asking me about it, and I advised that the meeting will be held today, and I advised her to come.
On April 14th, there's an email here from
The homeowner, yes. This was before she came in.
the homeowner to
The health inspector.
the health
Mhm.
inspector, Miss Bermudez.
Mhm.
And Ms. Peralta says in the email, the tenant has moved out, but still has possessions in the apartment.
Mhm.
Okay. And there are what appear to be photos.
Yes.
Can we see them?
Sure. I did not add these to the file as they were not taken from me.
Well, that's okay. There's still photos
So,
that
well,
were submitted by the,
apologies for everyone at home for seeing a toilet.
to go down start at the beginning.
Yes, so that's my notice of violation. So
Okay.
first photo is
Yeah,
that's
that's
the toilet.
Okay. Thanks.
Not sure. These were addressed to the health department, so I'm assuming there could have been like issues regarding like mold or something,
Okay.
and that she's just showing photos of problem areas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm assuming those mold issues, but can't confirm that.
There had to be something
Yes.
for the health department to be engaged.
And the last one is, yeah, I'm assuming it was a mold problem.
Okay.
And there was I think it was another issue, email from her. Where the same day, again, I was CC'd to this email to the health department, where they actually had a exterminator come out for indoor treatment of the area. Can't really read the handwriting there, but I'm assuming it was pretty bad. It says miscellaneous here on the it was a roaches and miscellaneous, so probably pretty bad.
That's the report from the exterminator.
Correct, yes.
So this is something that was submitted to the health department,
Yes.
and the health department then just forwarded it to you, or were you copied on it?
This was straight from the
it's
landlord,
not-
so
okay.
I was CC'd from the landlord. And the attorney who I assume was representing the tenant, I reached out to that attorney, however, he did not get back to me.
So this is attorney number 3.
Yes, but I believe this is a tenant's attorney, not the landlord's attorney.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. But I reached out to him, but he didn't get back to me.
So just to recap, a complaint came in from, it's an online complaint.
Correct, yes.
From a tenant
Mhm.
in one of the illegal apartments,
Correct, yes.
complaining about the illegal apartment.
Mhm.
Within the same time frame, the health department received a separate complaint
Mhm.
about this property.
Mhm.
You met with attorney number 2.
Mhm.
And after a conversation between the attorney and Ms. Peralta, the
Mhm.
attorney said that there was in fact illegal apartments that were going to be corrected.
They only admitted to the basement unit, but they admitted both of them in the hearing, and I testified to that they admitted to an illegal unit in the
Well,
basement.
they admitted to having an illegal unit, and they also said they were going to remove the
Mhm.
unit.
Mhm. And when I sent the notice of violation after that hearing, they did not what's that word? They did not fight it. They did not contradict it.
Okay, and they haven't asked for a hearing.
No.
And they're not here.
No.
And under the statute and the ordinance, they're deemed to have admitted the violation.
Correct, yes.
Now, you have maximum assessable fine. How did you calculate the maximum assessable fine?
It was one violation, so started counting $150 a day 5 days after the citation was sent. So I sent the citation on April 5th. So $150 a day starting the 16th to today.
Okay, so right now it's a maximum fine would be $1,200
Yes, my math is correct.
as of today.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So what is your intention or plan going forward for dealing with this situation?
I want to ensure that's reverted back to a 2-family unit with a permit being applied for, inspections being made to confirm that they stays a 2-family. It was my initial recommendation that a fine be assessed today. However, believe the best way to move forward is to continue this hearing to the next agenda, which is on May.
28th?
And that time, a permit can be made, inspections can be made, and we can discuss a possible fine.
Well, we could still do a fine. So
Correct,
if I
yes.
keep the hearing open,
Mhm.
For purposes of assessing a fine,
Mhm.
I can make a finding based on your testimony and the records. Particularly the history here, the
Mhm.
2011 permit, the 2014 sign off that was done by one of your predecessors, Lee Rochford,
Mhm.
who I think was a zoning inspector back then.
I believe so, yes.
And the recurring theme here, you know, you have a tenant who complained,
Mhm.
and albeit tenant may have his own motivation,
Mhm.
but you did have a couple of meetings with the owner, and
Mhm.
without any reason, the owner seemed to decide not to attend the hearing. So
Mhm.
I'm going to find that the violation has occurred,
Mhm.
and it occurred as of the issuance of the notice of violation.
Mhm.
Probably long before that, because
Mhm.
it's a tenant in the space.
Mhm.
But for purposes of calculating a potential fine, the notice of violation and the date the citation is issued are significant.
Mhm.
So I'll find the violation has existed as of the notice of violation. And I'll keep the hearing open so that you can proceed the way you just explained. And you can note in your file that as of right now, the maximum assessable fine is $1,200.
Mhm.
I'm not assessing that. I just want to make clear
Mhm.
that we're keeping the hearing open so that you can proceed toward either correcting the violation,
Mhm.
increasing the fine, or a combination of both.
Okay.
Right?
Mhm.
So with that, the hearing is adjourned.
Okay.
Do we have any other, yeah, we have a couple other matters, right?
I think we should be also be closed nursery,
Where is he?
Grove.
336 Westport Avenue.
Yes, that one, there were originally on, but however, there was notice issues. So,
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. 6 Lincoln Avenue, we did.
Mhm.
Yeah, let me just run through this.
Sure.
19 Grove,
that's the one we closed.
Closing.
Mhm.
47 Woodward, we discussed.
Mhm.
17 Dairy Farm, we closed.
Mhm.
56 Nursery, you're closing, right? Because
Mhm.
the permit's still open.
Correct.
8 Dover, continued to May.
Mhm. That was the first one we discussed.
Yeah, 48 Elmwood,
Continuing to,
yeah, this is another chronic problem, but
Right, yeah.
continued it to June.
because he did make an application. In the nick of time.
336 Westport Avenue, you'll renotice it and we'll be back in May.
Correct.
6 Lincoln Avenue.
It's the one we just did,
That one we opened, had a eventuary hearing and then continued. Van Tassel Court continued to May.
Mhm.
84 Wall Street is interesting.
Down we
We
did.
did
May.
address that, and that's continued to May.
Mhm.
That is all of the items on your agenda. So
Mhm.
with that, I'll sign the paperwork that needs to be signed and after we close. And we
Okay.
can close this session of hearings.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much.